I want to share a quick story real quick on that topic. I have so many of them, but I'll share this one. So in 2012, Chris and I did a living room book tour for my then brand new book, Invoking the Archangels. And we traveled all over the country. We did 111 events in 11 months. We were all over the U.S. I think we hit 35 states. Is that right? 35?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
30. We're going to go with 35, okay? We went to a lot of states. And so anyway, we were doing an event in Denver. And this woman had come to the event, and she really enjoyed it. And one of the things that the angels asked me to do, actually Archangel Michael, before I did this tour, was he said, at every single event, which was hard for me because that was hard to remember, but at every event I want you to offer, basically, a challenge. And the challenge was for everyone to work with Archangel Michael for 30 days in a specific way, and then observe the way their life changed. And they were supposed to write me an email or send me a note. They didn't have to give me details, just, hey, I did it, and I want my free stuff. Could be as simple as it is, because I was going to send them a bunch of free gifts, which I did. And so this woman was in Denver. She'd come and she did the workshop, and she started doing the invocation, and she loved it. She said, oh my God, my life started changing in such incredible ways. And then, like so many people do, she fell off the wagon, and she went back to just her daily routine. Well, about 6 weeks later, so she only did it for a couple weeks, about 6 weeks later, she came to see us in Vail. And so she brought her friend, because she loved it so much, even though she was already not following through with some of those things. So she came to see us in Vail, and she came up to us, and she said, I'm really going to make a commitment to do that 30-day thing, because I noticed such a difference in my life those first 2 weeks. I don't know what was wrong with me, why I quit doing it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be looking for your email in 30 days that you've been doing this. So this is what happened. So we're in Vail, and then we went to a couple other places. And she, the next day, actually was flying into Phoenix to come see some friends or something. And I don't know her. She's not like a friend of mine. She's just a person that showed up at a thing, right? Or two things. So, so she left Denver, and she came to Phoenix. Well, her son drove her to the airport in Denver and dropped her off. And he's like a 19-year-old kid. He drops her off, and she's on the plane. And while she's on the plane, he totals her truck. Totals it. So when she gets off the plane, she has a frantic call from her son. Oh my God, Mom, I'm okay, but your truck isn't. And she's like, well, I'm really grateful that he's okay. And in her mind, she said, thank you, Archangel Michael, because she had started doing this like 3 days earlier. That when she saw us. I think it was about 3 days. And so she'd been doing it consistently. But she had also not only been calling Michael in for herself, but she'd been calling him in for her son. So she was like, you know, immediately, thank you, Michael, for protecting her. And the truck we can take care of him. The truck we can take care of after. So the next day, she's in Phoenix, and he doesn't have a truck now because he was borrowing her truck because he'd wrecked his truck already. So, so now he has no car. So he is walking home from work, and he works at a restaurant, and he works on a main highway, a busy highway, and he works at night. So he gets off work at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And so he's walking home, and somehow a car hit him. And it hit him, and it like burned kind of the skin off of his arm, but it hit him hard enough that it lifted him up in the air, and he flew, I think she said 20 feet, is that right? And he landed on just this little cloud of leaves, and he had no injury. He wasn't hurt at all, okay? No, not hurt in the car accident that totaled the truck. Just landed on this little cloud of leaves, and he got up, and but he had a burn on his arm, okay? Goes home, 2 in the morning, calls Mom here. Mom, I just got hit by a car on the highway, but I'm okay. So she, okay, thank you, Michael, for keeping him safe. All right. The next day, okay, he's got his wound kind of bandaged up, and he's heading home from work again. These are 3 days in a row. And he's heading home from work again, and at the same time, late at night, and he's walking by one of the dumpsters. It's like another bar restaurant place, and he walks about 5 feet past it, and he hears this noise over by the dumpster. And he looks, and it's a bear. So he just drops, just right there. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I know what I would do. So he just dropped right down on the ground, scared to death. Okay? And he just laid there. And the bear came over to him, sniffed him all around, pushing his legs, pushing his head, sniffing him all around, licked the wound on his arm, licked it for 5 minutes, licked his wound, and he thought for sure he was going to be eaten. And then the bear just turned around and walked away. He gets home from work, 2 in the morning. It's a true story, isn't it, Chris?
It's true, everything she's saying. It's
he
true.
gets home from work, 2 in the morning, calls his mom. Mom, I don't know, a bear attacked me, whatever, but I'm okay. Okay? And she's like, oh my God, thank you, Michael, for protecting me. And so for him. And then so she says, I better tell him about this, because she's in awe of the fact that he should be dead 3 times in 3 days, and he's still perfectly fine. And so she says, oh, honey, whatever his name was, I've been calling in Archangel Michael to keep you safe and keep you protected, and my God, I cannot believe how much has happened and how lucky you are that you're alive and okay. And he says, I don't think Michael was doing anything, because why did those things all happen? So I don't even believe in that stuff, because if Michael was actually protecting me, nothing would have happened. Interesting perspective? Depending on which side you choose to see that, and you get to choose to see it whichever way you want. But she was so grateful because she knew that that's why he felt he was safe, and he was like, obviously it's not working, or I wouldn't have had any of these things happen. Okay? So, the point in sharing that is that she really, by calling him in consistently, she manifested safety, security, protection for this kid. Without him being appreciative of it, his angels were there whether he knew it or not. He passed it off as bad luck, when some of us would be like, okay, if a bear's coming to lick me, I'm thinking I'm dead, right? Robin's having a heart attack with me talking about it because she has a bear thing.
I got a thing with bears. I know they want to eat me.
So the point being that when you call in and you ask for help, they can and will help support us. Absolutely. And it's really important to be recognizing what it is you're asking for. What she was doing was she was asking for protection. That was her prayer. The prayer was, I invoke the blue light of Archangel Michael to surround and protect my son. That's what she was saying.